The Man in the Vent Part 2. After finding the button on the kitchen counter, I did what any sane person would do. I left. I didn't pack, didn't even grab my wallet. I just walked out of the apartment, got in my car, and drove to a 24-hour diner off the highway. I sat in a booth near the window for hours, drinking bad coffee and staring at the button in my hand. It was cold. Too cold, even after being in my pocket all night. A simple silver disc with an old anchor emblem on it. Definitely from a coat, but not a modern one. Something about it felt antique. Eventually I drove back. Sun was up. Mrs. Halpin was watering her tomato plants in a floppy straw hat, like she hadn't a care in the world. When I told her what I found when I showed her the button, she gave me this look, part confused and part amused. "You're letting your imagination get the best of you," she said. "You know what stress does to people. It makes ghosts out of shadows." I wanted to scream at her. Instead, I just nodded and went back inside. For the next few days, nothing happened. I made sure of it. I slept at my sister's place, only came back in the afternoons to grab clothes or check on mail. I even contacted a friend of mine who worked in HVAC and asked him to come take a look at the duct system. We started in the bathroom. He unscrewed the vent, inserted the camera, and fed it slowly into the shaft. He stared at the monitor as he twisted and turned the cable. All we saw was dust, a few dead bugs and cobwebs. Then something odd. There was a pile of what looked like small bones. Not human, too tiny. Probably rodent, but they weren't scattered like you'd expect from an animal that died inside the duct. They were arranged, deliberately, in a circular shape like a nest. We moved to the kitchen. This time, the scope revealed a set of deep scratch marks inside the shaft, parallel grooves in the metal like someone had clawed at it. Derek frowned and leaned closer to the screen. "That's not normal." I asked him what he meant. He just shook his head. "Never seen anything like this. You should get out of here, man." That night, I slept with the lights on at my sister's place again. I didn't go back to the apartment for 2 days. When I finally did, I brought a crowbar. I unlocked the door and immediately noticed the smell. It was faint but sour, like mildew mixed with something rotten. I followed it to the bedroom. The vent near the baseboard had been moved. Again. But this time, the metal wasn't just bent, it was warped, as if someone had gripped it and pulled it outward with superhuman strength. My skin crawled. I went to the kitchen to grab my phone and saw that something else had changed. The cookbooks I'd stacked in front of the vent were gone. I didn't hear the front door open. Suddenly I wasn't alone. Then from the vent in the bathroom I heard it again. Scraping. This time, rhythmic. As if someone was dragging their nails along the inside of the duct. Slowly, methodically. Like they wanted me to hear it. I backed away. Something about the sound felt familiar. Not the pitch, not the timing, the pattern. It wasn't random, it had a rhythm. A pace. I didn't realise I was holding my breath until I nearly passed out. I stumbled into the living room and sat on the couch, crowbar across my lap. That's when the lights flickered. Then the vent in the kitchen began to rattle. Just lightly at first, then violently. The metal clattered like something was trapped inside, pushing against it with growing desperation. I ran. Back to my car. Didn't stop to lock the door. I called the police, told them someone was hiding in my walls or my vents or somewhere inside the apartment. They sent 2 officers. They searched everything, even pulled out the oven and looked behind the fridge. Nothing. They told me the marks in the duct were probably caused by animals, that no person could fit in there, that there were no signs of forced entry, that if I was scared, I should stay somewhere else. I already was, but I needed answers. That night, I made a choice. Instead of sleeping, I stayed up watching. I set up my phone as a motion-activated camera pointed at the kitchen vent. The next morning, I checked the footage. Most of it was dark and quiet. But around 3:12 a.m., something triggered the motion. The vent cover shook. Then slowly, so slowly, something began to emerge from it. Not a person. Not fully. Just an eye. Wide, unblinking, staring directly at the camera. It stayed there for 13 full seconds. Then it pulled back into the dark. I dropped the phone. I didn't go back for a week. When I finally did, Mrs. Halpin was waiting on the porch. She was different, stiff, colder. She didn't ask how I was or where I'd been. She just said, "You've stirred something up, you know." I asked her what that meant. But she just turned and walked inside without answering. Follow for more stories coming soon.